Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I am told by Desi to speak on pranayam. The first principle of pranayam is we should be obedient. So I am obedient to her and I will talk on this topic. Normally by pranayam we mean that we press the right nose and pull the air and then press the left nose and throw the air. And in that struggle we had to count. 1 is to 2 is to 4. And then we have to have a proper sequence. And then we forget whether we have taken the air from the left nostril or from the right nostril. And get totally confused. So let us understand the basic principles of pranayama. First, whenever we do anything, what is the purpose of whatever we do? For example, we go for a walk in the morning. Why do we go for a walk in the morning? So that people at home are at peace. So the purpose is this. Similarly, when we do pranayam, for what? So let us understand our physiology. We keep on eating the whole day. From morning till evening, whatever comes in front of us disappears in our stomach. And there is a tremendous load on our digestive system. According to the Kundalini Upanishad, the food intake is indicated by the following formula. Whatever quantity we can eat, we should eat only half. 1/4 we should fill with water. And 1/4 we should leave for ventilation. But we take so much that there is no place even for the air, forget about water. I am like that. So when I went to somebody's place, took my meals, asked me, what did you eat? Now I have to talk, but I cannot talk because the food is up to the mouth. Again I was asked, why don't you tell what did you eat? So I had to take out from the mouth and show and put it back. Friends, when we eat food, what happens to the food is 3 things. One part of the food goes in the building of the tissues of our body. Second part of the food goes in providing energy for the body. And the third part, which is a metabolic waste, is thrown out of the body. Any material has 3 forms: solids, liquids and gaseous. Solids are thrown through the toilet, fecal material. The liquids are thrown through urination. And the gaseous toxins are not thrown out of our system because we do not do anything special for that. And all those gaseous toxins are accumulated in our bloodstream. And when our blood becomes saturated with those gaseous toxins, they start getting accumulated in the joints of our various parts. That is why when we break our joints like this, when you break your joints, you feel relieved, is it not? Actually, nothing is broken here, but the gases which are accumulated, they are again released and the joint becomes soft. Now these gaseous toxins, when they are in the joints, they start eating the head of the bone. If there is a cartilage in between, then the cartilage is eaten by the toxins, and the synovial fluid which is in the joint for lubrication, that fluid becomes dried up. And therefore, as the age grows, we have pain in every joint. So if you ask an old man to sing some tune, what will be the song the old man will sing? Pain here, pain there, pain, pain everywhere. We have never taken care of removing these gaseous toxins from our system. When somebody came to meet me, he wanted to ask something. So before he asked me, I asked him, do you have constipation? He said, my God, Swamiji, how do you know I am a chronic patient of constipation? I said, from your face. When a person's stomach is not well, it is reflected on the face. So if these bowels are not clear, we are not comfortable. If we have got a very high BP, bladder pressure, and we don't get a chance to go anywhere, that time watch what happens to our mind. We just are waiting to get an opportunity, that's it. That time our mind is never available for anything. If this is clear, then these gaseous toxins which are accumulated in our blood, they are responsible for troubling our mind from inside. Friends, nobody wants to have thoughts, yet the thoughts come. Now, who is sending the thoughts from inside? It is these gaseous toxins, they act as a stimulus. Therefore, unless we clean our blood from these gaseous toxins, our mind can never remain at peace. This aspect of our personality we never take care of. And as a result, our mind is extremely disturbed, extremely confused. Therefore, pranayam is done for nadi shodhanam, cleansing of our blood. This nadi shodhanam is not spoken of by Patanjali. This topic is brought out very distinctly by Yajnavalkya and the Vasishtha Samhita. So, the purpose of pranayam is, number one, cleansing our blood of these gaseous toxins. As we have to go to toilet twice, thrice a day, we have to cleanse our blood at least twice a day. That doesn't mean we have to go for dialysis. It is only by the process of deep breathing that the toxins are thrown out of the system. Normally, we breathe very superficially, and as a result, the gaseous toxins keep accumulated in our blood. Therefore, when we do pranayam, I will tell you what I follow. By that technique, we will be able to slowly and steadily cleanse our blood of these gaseous toxins. Now, the second important point. We breathe 15 times per minute, and we have to increase the depth and the speed of the breathing to such an extent that we breathe only 2 or 3 times per minute. So when we take the breath in very deep and then breathe out fully, it takes a lot of time. It is something like, we wash our cloth and then squeeze out the whole water. In the same manner, we have to squeeze out our lungs so that all the toxins are thrown out and fresh oxygen is replacing that toxins. When we breathe lesser number of times per minute, then our longevity increases. The tortoise, they breathe once in 4 minutes. That is why they can remain in the water for quite some time and then they come up and again go back. And the life of a tortoise can be as long as 800 to 900 years. I was in Kenya in one of the zoos and we were seeing the snakes, cobras, everything. So I was standing near one rock like this. And the person who was explaining, he told me, do you know where you are resting? I said, stone. He said, it is not a stone, it is a tortoise. It was this big.
Era deste tamanho.
And then I asked him, hey, what is the age? He said 800 years. Huge life. Because breathing is minimum. Take the dogs and cats and the rats. What is their longevity? 10 years, 15 years. Therefore, when we breathe deep, the respiration rate falls, life remains less use, and we remain cheerful and happy throughout life. And in the old age, why we are depressed and dejected is only because inside there is constipation. Constipation not of the stomach but of the mind. And such people have nothing but complaints about everything, and therefore they want the whole world around them to change. But this can never happen. Therefore, pranayama is for inner cleansing. Now, the third point about pranayama. This morning before I came, I had a breakfast and I took one banana. First day I came, that time also I took one banana. The first day banana was not ripe properly. So when you peel off the skin of a banana which is not properly ripe, it doesn't come out easily and properly. So from that time onward, now I take the ripe banana in the basket. So today I took the ripest one. And when I lifted it, it was so ripe, it fell from my hand. Without any effort, the skin can be removed. Now be very attentive. Between the skin and the fruit banana, there are some threads. In the same manner, mind is the skin, the body is the fruit, banana, and in between is the prana, the breathing. So the mind and the body, they remain together because of the breathing that is going on. You cannot stop breathing. If you don't believe in me, try. Stop breathing for half an hour. So this breathing is the one which is keeping the mind and the body together. And when we stop breathing temporarily, that time the mind is free from the body. For example, right now, you take the breath inside and hold for 10 minutes. Whatever time you can hold. So when you do Kumbhak, mind stops. Mind stops means what? Mind is not associating itself with the body. So pranayama is meant for separating the mind from the body so that the mind does not think with reference to the body. Our mind drops the body under three conditions. Our mind drops the body under three conditions. Number one, compulsory. Meaning when we die, the mind and the body are separated. Number two, under ignorance, as in deep sleep. That time we don't know anything. See, when we are all awake, we will think about others, whether others are disturbed because of us. So if somebody else is talking on phone, we keep shut so that he can talk. Because we are aware that others should not be disturbed by us. But when we are in deep sleep, we snore so loudly that the whole house is shaking. As if there are tremors of volcano. That time we are not thinking that because of our snoring, other man's sleep is disturbed. Because we are in utter ignorance. Now, we neither have to die nor to sleep in meditation. Normally we don't die, but we do sleep. And therefore in most of the yoga classes I have seen, after the things are over, let us do Shavasana. And when you do Shavasana, if you sleep, you will snore. Shavasana is not meant for sleeping. But everybody, one lady told me, Swamiji, the best asana I like is Shavasana. That is the only asana pertaining to human beings. All other asanas are with reference to animals, like Ushtrasan, Bhujangasan, Matsyasan, Kurmasan. These are all animals. Therefore, pranayam is done so that our mind is separated from the body without death and without going to sleep. Then that mind can be applied for contemplation on the truth. Friends, when we are preoccupied with anything, we cannot think except that thing. For example, if I hold some object in my hand and I don't want to leave it, I may forget. So what I do, I keep the object in the hand, take a pen and start writing. So my hold on this object will influence my writing, is it not? Because the hand is holding this object. In the same manner, when our mind is holding on to the shape and the form of the body, the mind will think only with reference to this body, because the mind is holding on to that object. Take another example. There is one child and that child is naughty. Now two ladies are looking at the same child. One is a mother and second is another lady. When the mother looks at the child, the foolishness of the child is recognized as wisdom. And when the other lady is looking at the same child, she tells the child doesn't have manners. Now see the difference in thinking. Because the mother is holding on to the child, her thinking is different. And the other lady is not concerned about the child, so she can only condemn. Thus, our mind, if it is holding on to the body, it cannot stop thinking with reference to body. Now, what is with reference to our body that we are? What are we with reference to our body? So first, I am a man, I am woman. Then I am young, I am old. Then I am healthy, I am unhealthy. This is the first load that we carry on our mind. The second load that we carry on our mind is the success and the failure in this world. I am very successful, I am utter failure. The third load that we carry on our mind is I am husband, wife, mother, father, brother, sister, mother-in-law, daughter-in-law, outlaw. And who is disturbed in life is the secondaries fellows. Secondary personality. As a husband, man can never be happy. As a man, husband can never be miserable. As a wife, a woman can never be happy. As a woman, a wife can never be miserable. So who is miserable? It is this husband, wife, brother, sister, they are disturbed. And when we are sleeping away at night, that time we are not identified with our body. Therefore, we are neither man nor woman, neither young nor old, neither successful nor failure, neither husband nor wife, and therefore we are nobody, therefore no thoughts, therefore all happiness. And that is why people like to sleep, even in the lecture.
Até durante o discurso.
If this picture is clear, with this understanding, now you do pranayam, it will have a different meaning. Pranayam is not only pumping the air and throwing it out. And one of the most important things which should be avoided in pranayama is, pranayam we do, whenever we do something, Mr. I, the doer, is born. For example, now as you are sitting, don't change your positions. Do pranayam for 131 times. Simply deep breathing and breathe out. Start right now. But why 131 times? Can we make it less? Okay, stop. Because you are tired when you do pranayama.
Você se cansa quando faz pranayama.
Because you are doing pranayama.
Porque você está fazendo.
Whenever you do anything, you are bound to be tired in life. Now you have been breathing right from your birth onwards. Did you ever say, come on man, I have been breathing right from childhood, I am tired, I want to stop breathing? Because in pranayam, I is born. In breathing, I is not born. Therefore, pranayama is aimed at not allowing this Mr. I to be born. Second thing, the body is separated from the mind without going to sleep and death and coming to the awareness that we are. It is for this purpose pranayam is done. If this introduction is enough, now I will tell you first what type of pranayama helps me. You can try that. That doesn't mean what you are doing is wrong. Keep on doing what you do. First of all, I'll breathe out from my stomach by squeezing the stomach inside upward, and when I will do that, then I'll fill in the stomach first and the chest next. Thereafter, I'll breathe out from the chest first and then from the stomach. When this sequence is properly maintained, then we slowly start throwing the toxins from our body steadily. Now first only observe, don't do. So first I am just showing with my hand, you don't have to use your hand. This was one pranayam. If you do with this speed, you will do 2 or 3 times breathing per minute. Initially it will not happen, but by practice everything is possible. So now sit straight, don't put your back on the backrest so that your windpipe is straight. Before we start, some psychological adjustments. First, we are cheerful and happy. We are not here under compulsion or somebody has not brought us by a lead. Second thing, in our heart is our beloved Lord and the Guru, and the Lord protects us from inside and the Guru guides us from inside. At this moment, we remain as Mr. Nobody. Mr. Nobody means he who does not have any past. We do not plan what we will do after meditation. So we remain in the present. Now, in the present, we get involved sincerely. So now you can start the pranayam type I told. Don't have to close your nostrils by hand. Keep your hands in a relaxed mode. So first fill in the stomach, then the chest, empty the chest first and then the stomach. Now you begin. After some time I will give observations and instructions. Please continue and listen to the observations and instructions.
Por favor, continue e ouça as instruções e observações.
We are not able to have a perfect sequence of breathing. But by practice, you will be able to do it.
Fale mais alto.
When we breathe, the time taken for breathing in and breathing out is not equal. Both the time for breathing in and breathing out should be equal. And this will happen as a rhythm. Don't count. Because when you count, then mind is born. Continue.
Continue.
Some more observations. Please continue your deep breathing. If you observe your body, the base has become firm. Vertically, the body has become steady. The weight of the body on the bottom has increased. This increase in the weight of the body at the base is the beginning of mind getting separated from the body. Another benefit of pranayam is we develop patience. You cannot hurry up in pranayam.
Você
One of the most important thing in life is patience.
é
Those,
paciente.
those who do not have patience, they suffer in life. So go slowly, deep and steady.
Então vai lentamente, profundamente, firmemente.
Some more observations.
Mais algumas observações.
Mind has two functions with reference to body. One is maintenance of life in the body, and second, the mind takes the shape of the body and becomes a personality. The first aspect of the mind is not a problem. The second aspect of the mind, forming a personality, that is being corrected by pranayama, because the mind gives up the shape and the form of the body. And because of this, you can experience yourself that the contour line, the shape and the form of the body has become very insignificant. And therefore, the imagination that we are inside the body and the world is outside is no more valid. Now our experience is like the space, which has no shape, which has no form, which has no beginning, which has no end. This one infinite space we are. The space supports the remaining four elements. The earth does not bend the space. The water doesn't wet the space. The fire doesn't burn the space. And the air doesn't dry the space. In the same manner, our body has nothing to do with us. We are independent of the body. To discover this reality, we practice pranayama. Now your breathing has become very slow and shallow.
Agora a sua respiração se tornou bem lenta e bem superficial.
You are not doing the slow and shallow breathing. It is just happening because the mind is no more holding on to the body, hence no energy is required, and therefore the breathing is slow and shallow. It is like the energy saving technique. This slow and shallow breathing is the master key of pranaya. After years of practice, this leads to Kevala Kumbhaka. Breathing is not stopped, but breathing automatically gets suspended, and that is the Nirvikalpa Samadhi. This was just a sample.
Isso.
One has to practice it on a daily basis, at least twice a day with proper understanding. Our stomach should be as much empty as possible. And if we are doing it on a regular basis, we will remain inspired all the time. The old habits will die away. There won't be frustration, depression, and a continuous happy experience will be maintained. Now take deep breathing 2-3 times, and you will see the body is included in the mind. Move your toes and fingers. Now the concept we are inside the body and the world is outside is real, and our tragic samsara begins. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.